Minnesota Vikings head coach Mike Zimmer is demanding, and it's something that we really loved about him when he came in. Old school throwback, discipline, toughness, tough as nails, throwback to old Bud Grant type of days, and it's been great. But also, I mean, his style, it's great when you're winning, right? Although you look at last year, Vikings made the playoffs, all that stuff, his side of the ball, his du jour, the defense was not good by pretty much every measure last season. Middle of the pack in yards allowed, passing touchdowns, sloppy penalties, couldn't make stops on third downs. Ended up 19th in the league in third down. I mean, formerly numero uno, formerly record-setting third down defense, DOA, as well as couldn't stop the run. And here's the thing too. Now, I'm not saying that all Generation Zers and all millennials are soft, but you know, in general, they flat out do not like, the hard ass approach. Like, I'm sure every time that Zimmer went on a rant, a lot of the locker room was like, okay, boomer, sure. But when you're winning, I mean, everything is fine. Like, you can play for Gunnery Sergeant Hartman if you're actually winning. But once you're losing or your side of the ball isn't doing so well, it's like the tide going out. You get to see who is skinny dipping. And just looking at all of the signs from the secondary, because remember, Zimmer's a DB guru. He started out his career defensive back coach before he became a D coordinator, before he became a head coach. So cornerbacks, safeties, they're his bag. There's bread and butter, right? So you look at the side of the secondary. Remember Terrence Newman? He came on as a coaching assistant. He quit after 1 year. He was just like, this ain't for me. Now, that could be part of the hours versus the amount of pay. When you're used to NFL paycheck, that could certainly factor in. Also, you look at Jerry Gray being thrown under the bus. The cornerback room was atrocious last year. And then he just walks across the border, signs up with the Packers. Now you can say, it's like, sure, I mean, that job was available, but really? Really. And then Xavier, the last couple of years when he hasn't been living up to his contract, which he hadn't been living up to his contract, he and Zimmer had a very obviously contentious relationship. He gets axed. Trey Wayne's left, yes, for big money. So, again, respect there. But also, you look at Mack, nil. Curse, nada. Sendejo, basically nothing. They left town for near minimal deals, especially for Mack. I mean, we thought that his market was going to be a lot higher than that. So that the fact that they're just leaving, basically signing FU, I just want out of town deals. It says a lot. Also, Anthony Harris was fully prepared to leave before the Vikings slapped a tag on him. Now, we talked about Harris, Waynes, and Everson Griffin, all of the same agent. So Everson punted, Waynes signed for big money. Harris is all ready to leave, and then they tag him. So the Vikings are impeding Anthony Harris's ability to get a long-term deal. That's got to stick in the craw just a little bit. And for being a DB guru, not a lot of your DBs want to stick around. Plus, they all sucked last year, except for Harris and Harrison Smith, and also J-Ron Curse, to a degree. Sure, except you didn't play J-Ron Curse, and that's why he wanted out of town. He made that very well known. And I think that all that it will take to really break the levee is just like one quote. One smack at Mike Zimmer on the way out of town. I mean, it'll probably be J-Ron Curse. So if I'm a Detroit Lions media jackal, I'm just sticking a microphone virtually in the Curse's face the entire time. I just want a quote. I just want something. I think Curse will actually say something, and then watch. There'll be a couple of other anonymous quotes that come out. It's like whenever you're losing or your side of the ball isn't doing well, that's when all the anonymous quotes just magically come out, right? And then you go beyond the DBs. Look at Everson. And yes, Zimmer said that he wanted Everson back at the combine. But as we've always said on this channel like 17,000 times, look at actions, not words. The fact that the Vikings had the cap space and they didn't make it a priority to keep a team leader, one of the few team leaders remaining on the defense side of the ball, future Ring of Honor inductee, a guy that probably has 2 to 3 years left of his prime, they didn't make that a priority. Things that making a And I do think that Mike Zimmer has an ego, just like every single one of these coaches, where maybe Zimmer's early defense, I mean, the credit goes to the players. You look at Barr, you look at Everson, you look at peak Xavier Rhodes, you look at Harrison Smith, etc. It's like, well, I could coach a good defense with those great players, right? So maybe Zimmer thinks, well, okay, let all these slappies walk out the door. I can do this without the vets, start over with a bunch of young bucks, and then I will rebuild this defense. I will do that, mofos. I'm just like Bill Belichick thinks that he can win a Super Bowl with Danny Etling or rookie TBD instead of Tom Brady. Okay, we'll see there. And I'm not comparing the Zimmer situation with the mass exodus to the Stephon Diggs situation, but where there is smoke, there is going to be a little fire. So I think this entire side of the defense, this is more than just season to season player movement. Like, this is something completely different. And yes, the salary cap is there, but don't blame the salary cap. #cap is myth. The Vikings wanted to keep some of these guys, they could, especially Curse, especially Sendejo, especially Mac Alexander. But you see this beloved defensive genius losing multiple coaches, and as well as several high level pieces on the defense in one offseason. I mean, what does it all have in common? They all answer to Mike Zimmer. And you just watch. You just watch. If this defense has another Garfunkel season, like we mentioned before, I think Zimmer could be offered up as a sacrificial lamb, as a scapegoat, as whatever animal you want to throw out there, like the limping antelope on the plane. Rick Spielman, Kirk Cousins are the cheetah. Yeah, so I think Kirk Cousins. I think Zimmer is set up to, don't want to say fail yet for 2020, but also this is partly his doing. So we'll see what happens there. But your thoughts? Is Mike Zimmer to blame for this defensive Vikings exodus? Let us know in the comment section below. Also, subscribe for daily Vikings takes. If you want to support the work, pull us up in the Venmo. Plus, give us a follow on social media as well. But until next time, Skull, production value.